The Schalke lineup is the one I want to talk about because there's some big names on this team here. Visicaci, Nuke Duck, the rookie upset. Like, that's a bunch of carries here who can actually make this team fight for number one.
And a lot of pressure on their shoulders. Everybody
sure.
is expecting a lot from that roster.
For us, ourselves, we obviously wanted to do like much better than what we did. That's like the reason we got together and made the team. So that was more like where the pressure was coming from.
They just don't know how the game is supposed to be played as a team. Maybe they have an idea, but they are not replicating it.
They're not showing the level of performance that I would expect from a top 6 team here in Europe.
We always had like good games on stage, and then right followed after we have a bad game. So we couldn't really find our consistency maybe and how we want to approach things.
Star-studded roster, fantastic players on paper, but in the most important moments, they didn't show up.
I think they have the talent, and I want to say they have the coaching staff to fix this and make playoffs, but I'm not seeing the improvement week to week at the moment.
We were progressively getting worse.
I just wonder how it is now in the Schalke gaming house, because this must be the worst feeling ever.
But some people were getting like frustrated. We were like not clicking.
It's maybe just they're just not good enough. Then that is it. They have to work harder and get better. Not a single coach is gonna help them unless they learn themselves.
Luckily for them, there's no promotion tournament. Because the last time Schalke came into the LCS, they got relegated straight away.
It's hard to point out to one factor only. This team was a team that was emotionally not really balanced. Once we got our 2-0 week was basically when we thought we had little to no chances of making to playoffs, but then when we had a chance to make it to playoffs, we played probably our worst week.
Schalke 04 will not make the spring playoffs.
We kinda collapsed and we didn't really have an identity anymore. We were definitely looking for a change.
Milo is still part of our team, and he's a substitute for now. The reason why we ended up deciding to make a change is this team really needs a voice, really needs some kind of a leader. We wanted someone that could make tough calls, and even if they are wrong ones, at least making one and following that, because initiative was also something that we were lacking during the spring split. Once we tried Maurice out, I mean, it just matched everything that we wanted out of a jungler.
I actually burned out completely. At some point that I actually understood, hey, you can't just expect to be the best and like just do everything if the circumstances are not right. I thought maybe joining the broadcast would be less stressful and would actually like alleviate a lot of the issues that I had, but it wasn't really something that I felt as passionate about as I did about playing. That's something that I realized, especially later on within the split. I feel the tension on the back, you know, I feel this tension in my soul almost, where if I don't fulfill my goals, I feel like I'm useless, you know, I'm not using my life, you know, I'm not doing anything. So the definite moment for me, at least when I realized that I really have to play again, was when I was part of the broadcast of the LCS finals. It just clicked. I felt the atmosphere, I felt like the amount of pressure that the people felt, and I felt like, hey man, you perform under this pressure and you do something, you know, you wouldn't throw this, you would make sure that the team wins on your own accord. So I was mad at the screen, you know, I was like, how can you do this? How can you just lose so badly? It's impossible, you know? And when I see incomplete or like subpar League of Legends being played at some point during the game, the inner perfectionist comes out of me, and I'm like, I have to do something about it. And the only way how I can do something about it is like, I become a player myself and change the landscape of the of the league again. And I think that's something I really want to do. I just want to achieve something again. I think that's what it is.
We all had the same goal to make sure that the players have a good emotion stability, a good attitude towards competitive games, a good a good environment where stress is released and they can perform to the most. We just had no expertise on how to achieve it, and Fabian is exactly that.
I think it was week 8 when I came, actually. What I saw was a really negative atmosphere, and they lost their confidence. Actually, people think I'm the sport psychologist. I have the solution. It's actually the other way around. The player has the solution in himself. I'm more like the big brother, the supporter who wants him to succeed performance-wise, but also like increase his well-being, because well-being psychology and performance psychology are the essential keys to have a long-term successful and happy life.
I think Fabian influenced our team culture a lot. We put more emphasis on being together as a team and understanding each other and trying to communicate openly about each other.
Normally people just focus on the performance psychology, but we actually do the well-being psychology as well. So we have a cook. We have normally 2 meals a day, really focus that they have a high value of vegetables, like good nutrition, fruits, proteins.
We have like a kind of training room in the office where we can do some exercises after scrims to reset our mind, so we are not like emotionally charged when we try to analyze the game.
The foundation was there last split, but like really we go into specifics now, and having one additional person, that helps a lot. The coaches are really like doing their job, getting the guys better, and having someone who's like negotiating between the coaches, the staff, and the players. It's really easy because they give me straight feedback and I can give it back, and so we all benefit from it. I read often about they failed. I don't think they failed. I think they moved here, they built up a great foundation, and I really believe that this team can do whatever they want.
I think what we're gonna like approach it with now is that we're gonna play less completely perfect and more so try to focus more on our strengths. So if we like play to that, we can beat like many teams, I think.
We definitely have more direction in game. I think what we lacked last split, what we have more this split is like honest discussion and honest criticism. We all trying to improve here, and we all came here to try to achieve something.
There is not even a question that it's a completely different team now. Like, it's so much more positivity. They saw what didn't work, and we learned, we changed the schedules, they changed their mindset, and they are prepared for the season.
We don't want to be top anything. We want to be the top of ourselves. I mean, that will always be our end goal from now on. Even on pre-season, this week we want to be better than the previous one, and next season we will want to be better than this one. And comparing to other teams, it doesn't matter to us, because ultimately that doesn't make sense. We don't want to be better than Fnatic, better than G2, better than Vitality. We know that if we continuously improve and that we are better than the previous week, then we have a chance to be better than all those teams, but on our terms.